I was born in East Chicago, Indiana, and grew up in Hammond, Indiana, and I always associate those two cities and also Indiana Harbor in the top part of Indiana that is closest to Chicago. I always think of it as the steel mills and the oil refineries, and that these were people who were coming to the United States and looking for basic work could easily find it there. My father indeed was a milkman at a time when they still had horses that pulled little wagons. And I remember one story about a very tired day when he's coming home with his horse and wagon. When he tried to put the horse in the stable, he forgot to unhook him to the wagon. So there was all this stress that was made known to him until he got the horse separated from the wagon. Those are really, really the old days now. So I continued living in Hammond until I was probably around 20 years old, and then moved into apartments in Chicago, and eventually got married from the age 25 to 35, and got a very happy divorce at 35. And since then I've continued to enjoy living in Chicago in the near north side, and I'm not sure what year it was, but it's been a long time, and many of those years that I've been watching CAN TV. I think it had a lot to do with how my family grew up, and the things they taught me about, you know, everybody being equal, and that it be important that people weren't put off in this group or that group because of their different beliefs, or that they look different, or in some way seemed to frighten them. I think fear was one of the major things that developed a lot of the dividing up of different people, instead of everyone working together for social justice. The assassination of Martin Luther King, most of all. He was so greatly respected and admired, and there was just something about his face that was filled with peace. And the words that came out of his mouth were calming somehow. They would arouse you to make you feel stronger to do more in the name of what was good for all of the people. He was just so fantastic, and maybe that was one of the greatest crimes in history, was someone taking his life from us. My interest on Wednesday night in the Political Forum show, I just loved being able to see on the screen for a half hour someone who was responsible for government and who I could ask questions and get answers. And and I've just gotten a tour through the studios here, and I see how all of these various rooms take care of processing how things end up getting on or not on the screen. And the fact that my phone calls were handled so efficiently, whether I was going to have to wait a little while, or it was too late to add any more callers, or, okay, it's time, you're going to be on next, and then, okay. So that I was primed up to the point where I was ready to speak when they were ready to have me. Oh, I think being aware of our city and trying to make it the best city it can be. I think we have a lot of problems. Chicago is known as one of the most segregated cities, and whenever there are discussions made, there are always the high rate of shootings in our city. And I think that for people to try to make presentations like the ones that are made on CAN TV about talking to each other, little round tables, little call-in shows, presentations of news that are people sitting around. And I remember one particular news program, I think Ken was the first name, I believe, of the leader of that group, and just sit there and have guests and talk about what was going on and what their ideas were about making it better and what the causes were. go to the CAN TV studios, see how beautiful they are, and meet the staff. I'd never met so many smiling and friendly and busy people. All of you who are watching this program, please recommend it to everyone else. Recommend all of the CAN TV channels, 19, 21, 27, 36, 42. They all have different purposes they serve, but they're all for you, and you're missing them if you're not watching. At least, I'll give you 4 out of 5, you're okay. Thank you.